Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and man, I really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check the video out and spend some time with me today. Much appreciate that. And guys, today I've got one of those little juicy tips that I sort of throw one of these out there about every 2 or 3 months, one of these little more highly secretive tips. So I got one today that's really going to help you out in the month of September and October as far as a specific lure and a specific color and the way that you can color this lure yourself to catch a bunch of fish this time of year. So we'll get into that. Also guys, if you hear some noise outside, they're doing a little concrete work outside my house here. They've got a concrete truck out there. So if you hear some background noise, that's what it is there. Okay guys, I gotta tell you what this, I'm not taking credit for this. I was fishing a tournament. This was, God, where was that at? I think this was it was a tournament somewhere, I think maybe Lake Eufaula, Alabama. Man, this was forever ago. This was like 25 years ago. And my co-angler, we were just talking throughout the course of the day, and we didn't try what he was talking about, but he told me, he goes, Randy, one of my favorite techniques is, he goes, I take a DD22 and I paint the back purple on it. Just get a can of spray paint and spray paint it purple. And he goes, I catch a bunch of fish in the fall time of the year doing that, just cranking it around, whatever I'm fishing. I can't remember. He was somewhere, lived in Georgia or Alabama, somewhere down there. So anyway, I remember I had a tournament a couple years after that up at Lake of the Ozarks, and it was a September tournament. And I remembered what he talked about there because I was catching a few fish on a football head jig out off some main lake and secondary points. So I remember what he did, and I had a DD22, and I'd already made some of these up after he told me about it. I went and made some up, and I took just a shad pattern DD22, went down and got just a can of purple spray paint and spray painted that back purple on this thing. And guys, I put it in the water, and it looks edible in the water. And I wound up catching 17 pounds on this crankbait that particular day. It was like I said, mid-September tournament, Lake of the Ozarks, just cranking this thing down on those pea gravel points. And also guys, I've done really good on it in this time of year, cranking this thing next down to boat docks, just like the ones we were fishing. So I've same thing at Lake of the Ozarks, Grand Lake, I've done the same thing. Take this DD22 and just crank it down next to the sides of the boat docks. And you don't want to try to get it deep. I'll put it on 17-pound line and just throw it parallel down the sides of the docks and just reel it like a medium retrieve. It'll get down there 4 to 6 foot on a short cast. But guys, there's something about the fall time of the year, just some type of shad pattern DD22, doesn't matter what color the back is, just paint over it with purple paint and you'll catch them. Anytime that you're on a situation where those fish are on shallow ledges, any type of flat or shallow points, guys, just give this a try. And there's been a couple different water clarities that work with it. Most of the time, you need some type of little bit of stain in the water. So ideally, I like my water visibility to be around 2.5 or 3 feet, which a lot of lakes have on it. And usually most of the fish I'm catching on it are going to be 8 to 15 feet deep. Now, normally, I don't like a deep diving crankbait in the fall time of the year. In fact, I've done videos about how deep diving crankbaits don't produce that good in the fall time of the year for me anyway. This is one exception, this purpleback DD22. But I just wanted to pass it along with you guys. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this before. It was easy to make, and just try it. If you get in a situation where you're fishing and anything sounds similar to what I described to you, think it might be a good choice to you. And I've also heard some guys cranking this thing over the top of submerged timber if you have the same 2.5 to 3 foot of visibility. So it just depends on the lake that you're fishing. Whatever cover that you have available, try it around. But more than anything else, I think it has to do with just the coloration of the purple and the shad pattern. I don't even know that you can buy a color like this in the store. And a lot of times you hit upon those colors through experimentation that they just work. And it's just like that co-angler I fished with down there. I never would have thought of this in a million years. I never would have tried it, but he just got it in his mind and he wanted to try something, wound up working, and that's how innovation takes place in lure colors especially. So anyway, guys, give it a try. I think you guys will catch some. It's really one of my favorite techniques this time of year. Hope it helps out. We'll talk later.